Hey, everybody, and welcome to the ComaCast. We thank you for joining us. We are glad that you're here. If this is your first time here, oh my God, we thank you for listening to us, and we appreciate it so very much. If you're a listener who's been with us from the beginning, we appreciate that as well. There's some exciting things coming in the fall here. We have some special shows coming up like Halloween. I can't believe it's almost time for the fall. Like basically the fall is here. Christmas show, Thanksgiving show, New Year's show. Y'all love the Christmas show. We're going to be talking.
That was still so weird to me. We just
Right?
recorded that for fun. We weren't even going to do it. We're like, you know what? I have time. I'm feeling festive. You were feeling the same. So we sat down and just talked about Christmas and everybody loved it. I was like, so none of these exposés on anything we've talked about or all these other things we've done. And it's like, you guys want to hear about Christmas and Hallmark? Okay, you know what? That's fine.
Sure.
But yeah, it is season 3. So for season 3 opening, we thought it would be fun to just kind of reintroduce ourselves, talk about kind of things that what we do, what we're into, and a little bit where we started and where we are now. So if you are just joining us and are just getting to know us, you are welcome to go back through our old seasons. We'll talk about a little bit what those were so you can kind of pick and choose if there's anything you want to go listen to. If you have any comments, we always welcome comments and feedback. So you can either send them to us on Twitter, to us individually. You probably have our phone numbers.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, here's the other thing. We didn't have anyone do it in the past seasons, but we'd love for you to do it. I know, but we do have a phone number. You can leave us a voice message. We'd love to play it. And that number is on the screen, but we'll also, and again, I say on the screen because we're also on YouTube. So you can watch video versions of this. But our phone number is 858-876-4256. And it's on our website and it'll be on Twitter and everything else. So if you want to leave us a voice message about something we say or participate in something we've done, that would be really fun as well. But
like we love guests.
Yes. As Matt said, in season 3 here, we're going to have some guests. We're going to be talking to people about allyship, trans issues. We're going to be talking about sex and everything involved with that.
Sassy. I think we should do a sex, like safe sex episode. Not even just about wearing condoms and things like that, but like, you know, proper like lube and different things that go along with it. When to recognize it. Maybe you have a problem. Maybe nope, that's normal. That's fine. Things that just kind of, you know, things how to be open with your doctor, having provider. You know, the importance of being open with your provider. You know. They're not going to ground you for having sex. Just be honest with them so they can help you make good decisions for yourself.
Yeah, because some of those things you may not know about, or it may be something new to you, depending on how you grew up or how you were taught. And it might be new to you.
Or not taught.
Yeah, exactly. And so we want to be able to provide some information or insight. We'll also be talking about medical stuff and things that affect LGBTQ community. So there's a ton of stuff that we're going to do, and I think y'all are all going to enjoy it quite a bit.
Podcasting from the Lone Star State in Southern California, you're listening to the Coma Podcast with Cody and Matt.
We wanted to get the show started a little bit with a little bit of an icebreaker here, and we're going to do a game, swipe left or swipe right. Swipe left, swipe right, ranch dressing.
Left. Swipe left. Bye. No.
So if you paid any attention, I knew that what answer was going to be, but he doesn't like ranch dressing.
Don't.
And it's just an abomination. It's like, I don't even know how I can even do the show now.
Well, I'm lactose intolerant too.
Well, that's true.
So even if I liked it, it would make me very sick.
That's true. I am too, but I love ranch. Okay. Swipe left, swipe right, Stephen Colbert.
Left.
Oh, wow. I think I would swipe right. I think he's fun. I especially love his new show. I didn't really like the Comedy Central show much, but a lot of people did. Okay. Swipe left, swipe right, pineapple on pizza.
I really could go either way. I'm fine without it. I'd say swipe left only because, I mean, that's one of those I wouldn't call an order for myself, but like if I was at somebody's house and that's what was there, I would eat it without complaint because I'm an adult.
Also, you can just pick the pineapple off if you don't like it, if you're out or whatever. Yeah, I would probably, it's a hard one. I like it, but like, I guess if I had like 5 pizzas in front of me, would I choose that one? Probably not. So I guess in the moment, I'd swipe left on that one. Okay, Matt, what do you got for me since you did do it right?
I went a totally different direction. So I thought because I thought what I thought we were doing, I took it a little more like childishly. Mm-hmm. And we had talked about doing some holiday episodes. So I looked up the top Halloween candies of Cody's home state, which would be Texas, where I live now. So they had the top 3 listed, and the number 1. So swipe left or swipe right, Starburst.
Okay, first of all, how is that the number 1 candy? Oh,
I have no idea. I don't know the validity of this test.
So I like Starburst, but like I don't like eat them a lot. And I only like pink ones. I think we had a discussion about favorite.
Oh yeah, there was. You're right.
Flavors.
There was a pretty heated discussion about like.
And you like orange or something, right?
I do. It's my favorite.
No, I was pink. Red.
I like orange, pink. I pretty much like all of them for the most part, except the red.
Yeah.
I don't love the red as much.
Oh, I love the red.
But all the others are pretty much equals.
If it was a pink Starburst, I would swipe right. If we're talking Starburst in general, I would probably swipe left. Like, I like it. It's like the pizza thing. I like it, but like at the store, I don't choose a Starburst.
I think number 2, swipe left or right, was Twix. Or no, I'm sorry. It was Reese Cups. That's right. It was Reese Cups.
That's the definite right. That's like a super like. Super like. Yeah,
I would get on Tinder Plus to be able to access that one.
Right.
Like it. What about Sour Patch Kids,
Reese's.
which was number 3?
Sour Patch Kids.
That was the number 3 candy.
So, what are these weird candies? Reese's makes sense, but Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, I did not think the other 2 were as popular as they were.
Sour Patch Kids remind me of like Warheads. Like they're there, but who gets them? Okay, Sour Patch Kids. Again, I like them. I probably like Starburst more than Sour Patch Kids, so I'd have to swipe left. And then
I have a bonus question.
Bonus.
So, 3 Musketeers.
Swipe right.
Yes. Okay, 3 Musketeers is one of my absolute favorite candy bars. Like, totally, I will stop and buy a 3 Musketeers and a Cherry Coke and then not sleep for about 10 minutes because sugar doesn't actually affect me that way. I just like it.
So I've always loved Reese's, like ever since I was a kid. So that's that.
Yeah. Reese's is like top tier for me.
Then 3 Musketeers has always been like a really big favorite. And so like if I would go to this store, I wouldn't usually get Reese's because we'd have like Reese's at the house or something. So if we were at the store when I was little, I would probably get a 3 Musketeer. Always did. I just love it so much. Halloween, get the little bite-sized candies. I like take out all of the 3 Musketeers. But kids, you can't have it. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about me and Matt. Who are we? Because if you haven't been with us on this journey, you're like, who are these 2 guys? And why do I even care to listen to them? Well,
and you might still not, but that's okay.
You still might not. But we'll get to know who Matt is. It's a mystery. There's a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, okay. I don't think it's that much of a mystery.
Who are we? Matt talked about that we're in different locations, and that's true. We've never met in person. I'm in San Diego. He's in Texas, in San Antonio. So we're doing this, all these hundreds and thousands of miles apart from each other. Virtually, which is great that we're able to do that because the magic of the new way of doing things.
We've recorded this for the longest time. It was recorded off FaceTime. And that was an adventure. We tried it with Skype, FaceTime, some other programs, and then we came to Restream. And then we use Anchor for our podcast. So when you hear us talk about it in an ad, that's why. Like they have been our launching point for everything. So they've been always great to us. So, a lot of places aren't super friendly to LGBT content, but we've never had a problem with support getting, we've never had anything censored. They just kind of let us be, which is, I think, what we most want.
Yes.
But yeah, doing all of this and we have to move around our houses because we don't have a dedicated set. That's always a challenge. I've been a student off and on, trying to get into nursing school. Actually, I'm starting clinicals I think the week this episode is happening.
I think so. Yes.
This is
You
one of the
started.
few things. Yeah, I might have started this week. You can tell I haven't started yet because I haven't started crying yet. Like, I don't look like I'm drying tears.
Y'all are gonna see the progression. We'll have to have like a screenshot of now, and then after
December,
like a
after
month.
first semester, I'm like weeping and I look 14 years older. But yeah, doing this. So I finished my undergraduate 2 years ago in May of 19. I went back at 30-ish. I'm 35 now. Like, I went back at 30 or 31, and with my job at the time had a education benefit. So I collected all my credits.
Guys, do y'all think he looks 35? I don't think so.
Oh, thank you. But I collected all my credits, and I love psychology, and I finished it. And then while I was doing that, I still am looking to possibly become a psych NP, or nurse practitioner that focuses in psychology. So I decided to take everything and move it forward towards nursing. So I completed the prereqs I had left. I started applying to schools, and I got in April. And I only cried once because I've been wanting this since I was 24 years old. My initial goal was to finish my RN at 24. Well, life happens. The economy crashed twice. And I was a Florida resident in 2008 at 22 when the economy crashed the first time, which kind of just gave up because I didn't have any family support. So I just sort of like gave up because I didn't know what I was doing. So throughout this whole podcast journey, I, been working towards 3 goals. I wanted to do this podcast. I wanted to write a book, which has become a book series. I'm in the middle of writing book 2 now, and I wanted to be a nurse. And in the middle, and I'm like, okay. And my husband, David, said, well, do it. Why not? So I've been trying to do everything. And I was become really depressed at my job. And of course, I told Cody what I wanted to do. And he's like, quit your job. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, he's like, quit your job. And I'm like, I'm not quitting my job. And my husband, quit your job. And I'm like, I'm not quitting my job. I'm the breadwinner. Like, not that my husband didn't have a job, but I had been at my career for 5 or 6 years. And I got promoted several times. I was a claims adjuster. I started in just property, just making liability decisions for a couple of states. And by the end of it, I had promoted all the way up to handling very severe. I could handle literally everything, like litigation. I could do all of it. And I even stepped over to my last job when I got promoted. I took another job with a different company where I could take a step down responsibility that was a little less intense. But I promoted so quickly, and I was just really good at the people aspect of it. But the metrics and the corporate life, just like every job, just kind of wore in me. And every day, I loved working from home. I love my colleagues. I love the industry. I liked helping people, but I never felt, and I even worked in the injury department. I was an injury rep and I still handled property. I still did everything, which is common, but I wanted to do more, and I didn't think I could do it from behind my desk. And so Cody was like, quit your job. Come on, babe, quit your job. And I'm like, I'm not quitting my freaking job. I quit my job. So
the peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure. I did not just walk out of my job, because sometimes people think that I just got like handed a check and a blank check to run. That is not what happened. I planned. I knew how much time it should take me to get into nursing school. I left room for error. For classes I still needed, classes I might need to retake to get better grades, like A's instead of B's kind of thing, or retaking things from like 2004 when I first went to college. And then the world collapsed and it set us back like 6 months to a year because I couldn't show up at schools to make sure they had my information. So when someone said, oh, we don't have it, resend it. So delays, not even knowing you're being delayed. And then everything kind of started falling together. And then Cody and I were in season 1 and season 2, and now we're opening season 3. And Cody, and also my husband and my friends, all like 3 of them. That's my cats fighting in the background. And in the middle of this, we've had several major life events happen to both of us. Like, we talk about in an old episode where I took a DNA test and learned I had a completely different bio dad and 4 siblings. It became like a whole wild ride. And so all of this happened during this adventure as I was getting to know people and learning that I actually did know who my bio dad was. They were family friends of ours, and Cody has
Yeah,
had his
it's a
own
crazy
adventure.
story.
It was wild. And it's not even the wildest part of my life. It was just more of like well, that was fascinating, y'all. And then Cody here has had his own adventures and
Yeah.
traumas.
It's been a journey.
Kind of all of the above.
Yeah. So like my background is I'm originally from Texas, and I don't know. Sometimes my accent comes out. It depends on what we're talking about. It'll just blow out of here. But I'm from Texas originally.
What color are clouds, Cody? This is my favorite one.
Blue? Or sorry, white.
Are you kidding me?
I am smart, everybody. They're white. Do I say that weird? White?
Oh, you never say it like that. You always say white. White paper. White meat. You'll hear it. He'll slip.
I'll slip. Yeah, so I'm originally from Texas. And so like my background after I got out of high school and college and all of that stuff, I started working at the TV station in Texas, and I was hired as an assistant morning producer. I was the assistant morning producer for like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. And so like the training period's like 2 weeks, and then like the third or fourth week, the morning producer was like, so I'm not going to be the producer in the mornings anymore. I'm moving to the weekend show. And I was like, okay. And then I was told that in the morning because I did the morning show. So I had to be there like at 3 a.m. So then when I came in the afternoon, because I was still training, so I was training with the executive producer at that point, my news director was like, so I'm sure you heard, but would you like to become the morning producer? And I was like, okay, sure. So like 4 weeks into this journey in TV, I became the morning producer in charge of producing the morning show. So the morning show is one of the most watched shows in television because everybody gets up, watches it before work, before their kids, getting their kids ready for school. So it's really watched. And I was the one responsible for choosing every single story that we ran. Like everything that people see, I chose and partially wrote. So that was like such a big thing to like be given me that responsibility when I was like 20, I think, and in charge of a morning show. So then I did that for like about, I think like almost a year. And then at that point, the executive producer then was leaving and moving to a different city and a different TV station. And then they were like, oh, do you want to become the executive producer? And so then I became the executive producer about like a year and a half into me working in TV. I became the executive producer, which meant I was in charge of all the shows, like the content, how we did them, the format kind of them, the feel of them, because each show kind of feels different. The morning show feels way different than like a afternoon show or than like your news primetime show.
And that background has been everything in how we do this, because I don't know the words for things sometimes, and I struggle with my speech. So sometimes explaining things is really hard. So, but when we were coming up with ideas, one of the words I would use is feel. Specifically, I want this to feel a certain way, or I don't think it should feel this way to do this when we're talking. And you knew exactly what I meant. And this is, again, from thousands of miles apart. Cody's trying to like read my mind, but it's your background and how long did you do this?
So I did it for 10 years. I was in TV for 10 years. And during that period of time, I also started doing on-camera work. So I was the entertainment reporter. So any musicians that came into town, any like theater things, I did stories on them. So that was a great thing. I also got to meet people from American Idol and Grammy Award winning.
Sometimes they post throwback pictures and they're just so cute. They're just... What's amazing though is like kind of Benjamin Buttoning here, because I swear you look younger and healthier and more refreshed now than in your pictures when you were like in your early mid-20s.
I know everyone keeps saying this. I don't know. It's the California life. So I did that for 10 years.
Well, we talked about how I quit my job. No, tell the nice people.
So I did TV for 10 years. And then there was a period of time that gave me the opportunity, I guess, to move somewhere. And it was like, well, I've got to move to a different city to further my TV career. Do I want to keep doing that? Because in TV, it's like, it really takes up a lot of time. It's hard to have a family. There's a lot to it. And so I'd been doing it for 10 years. And so I just made the decision and had the opportunity to move to California and do freelance social media work and social media consulting with small, medium-sized businesses. So I ultimately took that leap. It was so scary to just be like leaving a job of 10 years. It was my only big job that I had because I had started so young. And, I had experienced so many things and, got to work with people like at network level, like, and doing stuff with Today's Show and CBS Evening News. So leaving that was really hard because it was an exciting life lived. But then now doing freelance social media work was a great thing. And then I've been in California now for about 6 years, I think. And so that's been an exciting change in life and the way things are. And I guess, as Matt said, it makes you look younger.
I think it's just not being like, I mean, I'm sure obviously because with these jobs come a paycheck, benefit packages, things that we're taught that we want. And I mean, I wasn't mistreated at my job. I mean, we all have our bad days. Everybody has their day that even if you're doing what you love, that you're like, if one more person shows up at my desk with that attitude, I'm going to be on the 6 o'clock news,
and I've told Matt this, I think for me, because I was the executive producer and then continued doing the morning show. So I would wake up at 3 a.m, go into work, do the morning show, leave work, go home, sleep a few hours, then get up around 2 o'clock, go back to work. And then I work all afternoon, evening, sometimes staying there till 10 o'clock. But I could leave a little earlier. But then I'd eat dinner, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then so I didn't cook, so I only got fast food because it's late. And then sleep for a few hours and then have to be up at 3. And so I think doing that 5 days a week drained my body. I didn't realize it at the time that I was like so tired or so exhausted. But
it's
clearly looking back.
Distance. Yeah. I think the same thing. And I mean, I worked from home and I wasn't even working. By the time I left my job, I was not working 50, 60 hours a week anymore. And I was working from home. But when your job is car accidents and injury, now when I left my first adjuster job, to step down a little bit, my job was, I was working 50 to 65 hours a week to keep up because it was just a heavy caseload. Every adjuster was doing it. And lots of my colleagues walked away from the industry. I changed jobs to try to stay. And then ultimately it just wasn't too many regulation changes to make it comfortable. But by the time I left, I was also just tired all the time. David was convinced I was going to lose my shit and tell someone to F off, like at my desk, because he would hear people just screaming at me through my phone. And people think it's okay to talk to you that way. And eventually everybody has a limit. And I knew I was approaching mine and I didn't want to burn a bridge. And, but I remember when I left my first adjuster job, every day was serious car accidents. And, you have to leave that at work because along with those accidents, I also have photos of those accidents. I review everything. So I've seen horribly gruesome things and I can't help anybody. I can't comfort anybody. I'm kind of the business aspect, but it is also my job to comfort people and get the information out of them because I'm the one that's going to help put some closure to this so they can focus on their families and not the paperwork, not the rough parts. But when you do these jobs, you're making people relive some of the most horrible moments of their lives. And it could be everything from their own accident to their child's accident to, and Texas is a big state, but much like the gay community, it's really big, but everybody somehow knows everybody. And I handled multiple states and it just became something I just wasn't passionate about. And I knew I still wanted to help people, but I felt like I wanted to be more involved. So hence me texting Cody a picture the other day of me and my student nursing scrubs. Do you know? Do you know what? Well, by the time this is released out, it should be here. But my stethoscope arrives tomorrow, and my shoes, and I'm like, oh, this is getting quite real.
That's so exciting.
I'm like, oh gosh, it's real. I'm doing this. What have I gotten myself into? But, when you leave these jobs, you leave behind that security because, yeah, it's frustrating to drag yourself to a desk and be feeling like a rat in a cage. But every 2 weeks, you get a solid paycheck that, after seeing what happened in the economy the last, my entire adult life, my husband and I worked really hard that when we finally were able to buy a house, or he was able to buy this house, that we kept everything as condensed as possible, that we could handle it, and which made it possible for me to leave my job in the way that I did. And it was not pretty. It was still not pretty. It was still uncomfortable and scary, but it was still the right thing to do.
The great thing about it is that you did have David there with you. And so like, if you've been listening with Matt here, Matt is married.
Yes, I am married.
David, and he is
my husband.
I again have not met either of them in person, but they both seem like amazing people.
We did do a Q&A with David.
It's a whole hour where we talk about Matt and David, how they met and their relationship, and it's really good. Everyone loved that one.
Well, David's perspective on things, he's a very different person than I am.
Also, David is great on camera.
He is funny. I know how funny he is. I know what he's like, and I love when the world gets to see him. And because some people don't like to show off their partners, or like when their partner has any sort of spotlight, they like to get insecure. And I don't think that's cute. I think that is a beautiful person, and I want the world to see. Right.
And if they have a great accomplishments, like be really excited about that. Like that's a great thing.
He got into nursing school too, by the way. I don't talk about it on Twitter because it's his news to share. But like at this point, everybody would know. But he starts in either August or January, depending on the school has, just where his slot is going to fall. But he's going, and he got accepted to a very prestigious program as well. And so, but his schedule allows him to work. My school schedule, because I'm in a different school, it doesn't allow me to work. So we had to go to two separate schools, and he was just like, well, just go to the one that's the one you want to go to. Stop worrying about the other one. Let's just deal with it. So, but that's been what we're doing. So if you're wondering how we're recording and releasing episodes in the middle of a work week, this is part of our jobs. Like, this is what we love doing it, but we schedule this in. This is what we do. And we do. I still love doing it. Do you still like doing this?
Yeah, no, I totally love doing it. I mean, I think one of the great thing is interacting with the listeners and seeing that they enjoy just listening to it and the lives watching us and interacting with us. And that's the one thing with the podcast. We still want this to be interactive. And so again, we'll have the phone number up on the screen. Also, it's going to be in the YouTube comments, or the description section will be in the email. But the number 858-876-4256. You can call us and talk about anything we did. So like when we were talking about the swipe left or swipe right, if you want to comment on those and tell us what you would have chosen on that.
My cat just showed.
Well, I was going to say, that's one thing we have not talked about me and Matt and who we are, is that we both have cats.
Yes.
We both have two cats.
If you've listened to the first two seasons, we have cats.
If you're ever on the live show that happens on Friday at 5:00 Pacific, you always see Salem. Salem always jumps into the screen somehow, or he'll jump and my lights will fall on me and everything. But I have a black
that was
cat.
Actually a scary one.
Yeah, a black cat, Salem. He is a rowdy little boy. I got him. He was actually a stray cat who would visit the neighborhood quite often. He just came to love us so much and would always come in the mornings and evenings. And then we decided to just bring him into our house. We made sure, he wasn't anybody else's cat, no microchip. And got him all the shots and everything he needed. And now he's part of the family. We originally had Ella, my little golden baby girl. She's the sweetest thing. She does not usually make an appearance, although she has sometimes. But she is sweet as ever. Season, yeah, she's sweet as ever. Not just cats, though. For me, I do have chickens. I have a lot of chickens that give me fresh eggs. And so sometimes you'll see me talking about that. And I have a huge garden where we grow carrots and potatoes and corn and vegetables like crazy, peach trees, orange trees, limes, lemons. So that's what keeps me busy when I'm not doing this.
Also,
I'm not
he
working.
does have an entire like line of this stuff. It's like expanded Morningside merch, right? It's still running.
Yeah.
See, I am a good work husband. I know things.
Put it on the screen here if you're on YouTube, and then also again in all of the links sections, link to my live feeds of the chicken coop, so you can tune it in anytime and watch the chickens sleep, eat, or just hang around. It's kind of fun to watch sometimes because sometimes they are pretty crazy on camera. But
this episode was just supposed to be about us just talking about. This was intentionally a random episode just to let you guys like hear us talk when we're not talking about, you know, crime or a news topic or an LGBTQ specific topic that because the news is almost never good for the last 5 or 10 years. So like that's why we try to not do that full time because it's exhausting. Welcome to season 3. Thank you so much for tuning into us and joining us every week. We really appreciate it. And like I said, you can follow us at the ComaCast on Twitter and pretty much anywhere else that you want to be. We have socials everywhere. Or you can follow me, the Poetic NS, N as in Nancy, S as in student, because it stands for the Poetic Nursing Student. Or Cody at Cody Rodriguez.
Yes. Lots of options for you to see our content.
Yeah.
And interact with us. But until next week, we hope you have a great week and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So, hey guys, we want to remind everyone that you can keep in touch with us on all of our social media channels, whether that is Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can do all of that at the ComaCast.
And we definitely love to interact and hear from all of our listeners. All of this is not possible without you guys.